Hello and welcome to Ion Cricket. We're here to discuss the India versus Ireland game that took place yesterday. Another batting collapse. I was coming up for a headline for this video, and I didn't really have to think a lot. Sri Lanka versus South Africa was a big batting collapse, and we see another batting collapse here. Ireland has to bat first. Toss was won by India, and Rohit made the right call for sure on a pitch like that. Adil, let's start off by just discussing that pitch. Going into the game, we knew that, what we really knew, all we knew was that it was going to be very unpredictable and it was going to be a very baller friendly pitch, two paced, and a lot of uneven bounce. What did you think about this pitch, and was there anything that you would like to say in particular about it?
Uh, I think Junior. So it was pretty similar to the wicket where Sri Lanka South Africa game was played, and I didn't see any difference to the conditions. And India obviously they had played a warm up game there, and they might have watched the Sri Lanka South Africa game as well. So I think they read the conditions so well. That was so evident with the playing 11 that they had chosen for that game. They left out Kuldeep Yadav. Like he would walk into any T20 lineup on any condition, given his form and the wicket taking ability he has. But they opted to keep him out and instead go with all the frontline fast bowlers in their squad. I think no fast bowler was left out, right? Arshdeep played, Siraj played, Jasprit Bumrah played, and of course the two fast bowling all-rounders Hardik and Shivam Dube played, but even though Shivam didn't bowl, so they had four quality fast bowlers up front.
Hmm.
And the spin option, even though they already have batting covered, they've opted to go with Aksa Patel because we saw Vanindu, even though he picked up some wickets, those were mostly batsmen trying to hit him and losing his wicket. But there wasn't enough purchase for Vanindu on that wicket. But if you remember, Keshav Maharaj had some assistance than Vanindu. So I just felt India might have thought that okay, it will assist the finger spinners more, and given Aksar's height, that could assist him as well. So that was a great, I mean, obviously a condition-based selection from India rather than form or any other factor. So I think India read the conditions so well. Uh, Bowling first on that wicket is like an obvious choice. For a moment before the game, I thought India, since they have already played on that venue, and since it's Ireland and they would back themselves like 99% out of 100 times to beat Ireland, and since they have a bigger game coming up in the same venue, they might back themselves to bat first and see how much they can score in case they beat. I mean, Pakistan wins the toss against in the India Pakistan game and put them into bat first. So I just thought they might put themselves in that situation and test their batting strength, but they didn't take that risk. Even the batting quality of India, they didn't back themselves. So India read the conditions so good. I mean, so well, and pitch. I mean, nothing to say. It's not good conditions for T20 cricket. Easy, I mean, simply put, yeah.
I think the to be fair to the ICC, I don't think they had a lot of time to put this pitch together, to put actually this entire ground together. So they just put it in time for the T20 World Cup. So I think it is what it is, and we see a pitch that's a very baller friendly, two paced, lot of uneven bounce, not just vertical uneven bounce, but also horizontal uneven bounce. So much seam movement, and we saw the Ireland batsmen struggle, the Irish batsmen really struggle to even touch the ball and get some knocks in the beginning. But I definitely have some interesting thoughts about the playing 11 as well. I think it's very interesting to go for both the left arm off spinners in Jadeja and Akshar Patel. And I think I don't really think it was a decision that was made in terms of looking at the bowling and looking at each of their bowling capabilities as much as looking at their batting ability, because
Yeah,
obviously a lot of the teams that have played on this ground have gone with batting orders that have been very deep, and still they have faced the prospect of a potential batting collapse. Sri Lanka was one of those. So I
yeah,
think India just wanted to be on the safe side and have a deep order, batting order with Akshar coming in at number 8. But it's very interesting. I think I slightly disagree with you there when you say that a finger spinner might work on this pitch. And I would just like to remind our audience, we are pretty much just making educated guesses when we're talking about what's going to work on this pitch, because we don't really have much data about this pitch and what's going to work. Keshav Maharaj was successful. That's very true. But I think that was again because of his experience and basically because of the mistakes made by Sri Lankan batsmen.
Correct.
But I definitely think that Kuldeep is someone who's a definite wicket taker. And looking at that series against Afghanistan in January, you would have decided that okay, Rinku, Jaiswal, and Kuldeep, these are three sure shots in the Indian playing 11 in the T20 World
and,
Cup.
and Shivam
Rinku is
Dube as
not,
well.
yeah, as Shivam Dube, and thank God we
Yeah.
have him. But Rinku is
Yeah,
not in the 15. Jaiswal was not
out of
given a
it.
chance, and very well, because there wasn't really room for him. And of course, they decided not to go for Kuldeep, which was very quite shocking. And I think against Pakistan, I think we'll need Kuldeep. We'll need a wrist spinner. They might even have to drop a fast bowler for that, but I think we'll discuss that more when Hari comes in, the fast bowler of our team. But just moving on, uh, what did you think about Hardik Pandya's bowling? 3 for 27. Very, very poor IPL. A lot of trolling. Mumbai Indians, his team, the first one to get eliminated, and we did not see him ball well at all. I remember Mahendra Singh Dhoni smashing him for 3 sixes in that last over against CSK. And I thought this is a totally different Hardik Pandya to the one that has come in plus for us multiple times in those death overs. But he really showed some potential here. Was it just the pitch, Adil, or do you think that we really saw some good bowling from Hardik Pandya yesterday?
Uh, I think it's a bit difficult to say if Hardik Pandya is really back as the old Hardik Pandya that we know. It's just one game. Like the conditions were tailor made for bowlers like him who could, send the seam upright and get some seam movement out of the wicket. So the conditions were tailor made for him. He just did the basics right. He's someone who can send the seam so well, and he did that to perfection, and the pitch just helped him, and he was consistent. So I mean, if Hardik Pandya is really back, I'll be really happy because he's one of the world's finest all-rounders at the moment, and any cricket fan, irrespective of the country you support, would love to see such an all-rounder in his peak. I would any day rate him on par with Ben Stokes or even a Jack Callis, the OG goat, right? So I'll preserve my. I mean, I'll not be I mean, I'll not say Hardik Pandya is really back, but it's just one game. He had a great outing with the ball. He bowled so beautifully, and I think we saw glimpses of such spells in the IPL as well. Yes, it was so evident and clear that he was not in a good space of. I mean, he was not in a good mental space during the IPL. A lot of off the field activities going around, booing and whatnot, and there were some rumors of personal issues as well, which we don't know if they are true or not, but definitely they would have played a part. And he's a human being at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how good a player or how quality he is. His personal life comes first, right? So I mean, we don't know what's going on there. So we saw some glimpses of like good batting performances, good bowling performances. His leadership was definitely not up to mark. He was not the captain who used to lead Gujarat Titans. Decision making was like clearly all of the place. So Hardik Pandya is clearly was going through a tough phase, but this game we saw like a proper clean performance. But we really don't know if he's really back to that proper mental space. Let's wait and see over the course of the tournament. And I'm really waiting to see him bat. He didn't get to bat, just faced a few deliveries, right, in the last game, or did he even come out to bat? He did come out to bat,
He
right?
didn't come out to bat this game, but we did see
Yeah,
glimpses
it
of
was due. Yeah, yeah,
vintage
yeah.
Hardik Pandya in the
It was
warm-up
Shivam
game.
Dube who finished the game with Rishabh Pant. So yeah, Hardik Pandya, I want to see him playing a complete game, like come out to bat at a pressure situation, do the job for India, and bowl 4 overs, and see if he's really back. So as I said, I'm really rooting for him to be back, but it's too early for me to, or I think anyone to say if he's really back.
Definitely going to be interesting seeing Hardik Pandya in this tournament. But I'd just like to take a small detour and talk about the Irish batting. Very interesting, considering that we have seen a good amount of games in this pitch to determine that it's not a batting pitch. I definitely didn't think that this was the approach that they should have gone with. Paul Sterling going for the hook shot on a ball that remained low, but at this point, you can probably guess that it's going to remain low, or there is going to be some sort of uneven bounce. So that definitely not a shot to go for in the first couple overs as the captain, as the most experienced batsman in that team. But more disappointing than that was the fashion that Andy Balburney got out in. Absolutely careless shot, trying to. I don't even know how to describe that shot. It was like a late cut defense shot to a straight ball by Arshdeep. And I think this pitch is really made for bowlers in the sense that a fast bowler, all he has to do is steam in and ball a good length ball. Even if you look at the ESPN Crick Info's stats, you'll see that a majority of the wickets that came in this match were that good length ball. And if you try to keep it wicket to wicket, you are likely to succeed as a fast bowler. Even Shivam Dube saw himself getting 2 to 3 wickets in that warm-up game against Bangladesh. And I think that any fast bowler, whether it's Shivam Dube or even Tasun Shanaka,
Yes.
as long as they ball wicket to wicket, they're going to
Wicket.
succeed.
And keep
But
the seam upright, most importantly. Keep the seam. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, the
Yeah.
seam upright and
Yeah.
let the seam movement take place. Let the
Take
pitch
yes.
do the work.
Let the wicket take care
Uh,
of it. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be very interesting seeing how some of the best adapt to this pitch, as I said before. But really disappointing by Ireland in those first couple overs. We saw some fighting at the end, towards the end, because they were 47 for 7, and after that run out of Gareth Delaney, it was looking like it was absolutely hopeless because they had missed 2 chances just before that run out, 2 consecutive chances. Rohit Sharma had dropped that catch, and then there was also another chance after that, and then they just throw their wicket away with that run out, Delaney. So it was looking very hopeless for Ireland, but it was quite shocking that they still got to a total of 96. It kind of shows it reflects badly on India to some extent. You know, uh, Not being able to contain them to a 70 or 85. With Josh Little being the one of the highest, Gareth Delaney himself and Josh Little being the highest run scorers for Ireland, it doesn't look good. I mean, Josh Little did a better job with the bat this game than the ball. Adil.
100% junior. So I think Ireland getting to 96 was not actually surprising for me because obviously they would have seen the Sri Lanka South Africa game and they wouldn't have come to, I mean, when they were put into bat, they wouldn't have started with a target of 160 like what Sri Lanka did against South Africa. So they obviously knew, this wicket is not a 150, 160 wicket, and especially against this Indian pace attack they would have seen the four fast bowlers in the team sheet. So they would have, I mean, ideally they should have started with a total of target of probably 120, 130. Start with that target and see where you can get. So as you said, the approach from the openers, knowing that this is not a 160, 150 pitch, knowing that even 120 is a good total, that start was absolutely shocking, like you said. But I think towards the end, they kind of found the template of how to bat on this wicket. You just can't power the ball along the outfield because it's like dead sandy. It's not traveling at all. So the way to play in this wicket, actually, Rishabh Pant in the India versus Bangladesh warm-up game before the World Cup began, he scored a half century in this wicket. If you look at the boundaries, most of the boundaries they weren't hit along the ground. What he did was he has really strong wrists, right, Rishabh Pant. So what he did was he used his wrists to power the ball over the infield and made sure the ball was on the air as long as for the longest possible time. And then once it hits the ground, it's the distance it has to travel is less. So making sure, I mean, giving him a more giving him the possibility to reach the boundary, increasing the possibility to reach the boundary. So I think that's the ideal template of batting on this wicket. Whenever the ball is full and whenever you can use your wrists to power the ball, I think Kamindu Mendes tried to do it, but unfortunately found the field. Even Charith Asalanka tried it. he found the field. So the only chance you can
I think
score on this wicket is when it's full. Try to use your wrists. Probably South Asia, I mean subcontinental batsman can do. And then if it's short, trust your pull. Like Rohit Sharma, I think hit 3 or 4 pulls, and so those two are I think the best ways to score on this wicket. And I think towards the end, Ireland figured it out. Garrett Delaney, like he actually demonstrated some good hitting on this wicket. Yeah, so Ireland, all in all, poor start, but I wouldn't say they salvaged some pride by getting to 96. If they had gotten to 120, I would say that's like reading the conditions properly and adapting well.
I mean, as an Indian fan, you see 46 for 7, you're like, they're gone in the next 5 minutes. But definitely a quite a change in their batting approach.
Yeah,
I completely agree with your analysis. By the way Rishabh Pant uses his wrist, there's a reason why he's able to hit one-handed sixes. It's because of those wrists, and it's
very true.
very smart by India. You know, sending him at number 3 is one of the best decisions that they've made early in this World Cup, because I remember he used to come in for Delhi Daredevils at number 3, the left-hander. After two right-hand options, I think that's the perfect person to go for over a Sky or even a Virat Kohli at number 3. I think Pant, and definitely it gives him the opportunity to maybe even bat some of that power play and capitalize on his strength of getting over that infield. And the outfield, as you said, extremely sandy. I just like to
Extremely
add,
friendly.
when Rohit Sharma dropped that catch, you could see the sand flying when he need himself down. It's a very sandy, very slow outfield.
Yeah,
But Pant and players like Pant, maybe even Sky, if he gets going,
if
definitely
he
not
gets
in
going,
this game.
definitely,
He'll be
definitely.
able to score some runs, I feel.
And I was expecting Virat Kohli to get some runs because he has one of the strongest wrists in world cricket. So, I mean, I was expecting him to score, but he got bobbed down. He tried a big shot, just perished. But I think he'll come good in the next game. But just adding one more point for Rishabh, the point you said it's a great move from India to bat Rishabh Pant at 3. I think one other reason that would have pushed them to bat him at 3 is that they have Shivam Dube, Ravindra Jadeja, and Aksa Patel down the order. So you have like
Definitely, yeah,
three good left-handers who could hit, like proper hitters down the order. So maybe they
yeah.
didn't want to have Rishabh Pant as well down with them. So that will like give a advantage for the bowling team to bring a off spinner late down the order. So maybe they wanted to slot in Rishabh Pant at number 3 and bring someone like Surya Kumar Yadav down the order.
And I think it's giving him an opportunity to really express himself. He's probably the cricketer who has the least amount of pressure coming into this World Cup. He's not played
Correct.
international cricket for a long amount of time. Everyone is surprised at how well he's playing. So it's the perfect place for him.
Mm.
He's one who has scored multiple T20 centuries as well. So it'll allow him to get some big innings on his record. And I think it's a brilliant opportunity. Talking about big innings, Rohit Sharma comes in with a 50. As you said, he took on Josh Little, which I believe was the best bowler in that Irish bowling lineup. Hit him for two consecutive sixes with his signature pull shot. A bit of a risk, I believe, but with that uneven bounce. But obviously, it's Rohit Sharma. He's gonna back his pull shot as he's one of the best at playing them. I think one record that he achieved was he's the first cricketer in the world to play at least uh, one match in all 9 editions of the T20 World Cup, and that's just one. He's become the third cricketer after Sachin and Kohli to win 300 matches as an Indian player, and he achieved a plethora of world records with this game. So hats off to Rohit Sharma. A lot of batting records as well with the innings that he came in with. So definitely interesting to see Rohit Sharma and Pant take on this wicket, which is very bowler friendly, and try to score some runs on it. Um, what did you think about that innings by Rohit Sharma and Pant as well?
I think Rohit Sharma, what he did was, so so since I think since 2022 or something, so India, like they publicly said that we're going to go hard. We're going to always look to score. That was something like I mean, that's something I have not seen from Indian skippers or Indian teams, like coming out and saying like we're going to play this brand of cricket. they've always, been say they've always played like according to the conditions, according to the game situations. They've not said, okay, we are going to play just this brand of cricket all the time, like Ben Stokes England did in Test cricket. But they came out and said, see, it doesn't matter what the format is. This is the brand of cricket that they will play. So I think Rohit Sharma is someone who lives by it. And if you forget the IPL, if you look at most of the games that he played for India since then, he has always come all guns blazing. Doesn't matter the conditions. He'll always look to score. So I think what stood out for me was his intent. They are scoring only. They're chasing only 96. Tough wicket. Could have always, looked to settle down, but he was always looking for the scoring option. Whenever the ball was full, he made sure he brought his wrists into play. And whenever the ball was short, he waited, and he's one of the best players of the pull shot in modern day, in modern cricket. I would say all time. So he trusts his pull, and what he did well, he just didn't go with his shot. He made sure he read the pace of the wicket, and he's someone. I think he's someone who can play. He can someone who can touch or hit the ball at any point. He can hit it late, or he can even hit it way forward from his body, depending on the pace of the wicket. So this was like the ball doesn't come that quickly. Yes, there is bounce, like a tennis ball sort of bounce. He plays it in front of his body, and he just hammers it. He always backs his, he trusts his hands. So that was like class personified, I would say. And Josh Little, man, he just played into Rohit Sharma's hands. He kept bowling short. If you look at the few sixes that were hit in this ground, Angelo Matthews hit one six, I guess that was a pull. Dasun Chanaka
Yeah.
pulled. Even South Africa, few sixes, those were pulls. Even Ireland, some sixes were pulls. So if they can pull for a six on this stadium, why can't Rohit Sharma? So Josh Little
I
just
think
played in his hands.
I think there's no logic in bowling short in this wicket. You ball good length,
100%.
keep it
Unless
wicket to wicket,
unless
and you're gonna get wicket.
unless you are really really quick, I would say, like an
Yeah,
Andrik Nokia,
like Bumrah.
or Bumrah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and
Andrik
Bumrah
Nokia
got that
is,
unbelievable wicket with that quick bouncer, which hit him on the helmet, and
yeah,
it was
I can't
quite
remember the
deadly
batsman.
the way he got out. It
Exactly.
was Harry Tector, I think,
Okay.
and he was taken he was surprised by that bouncer and was
Yeah.
very quick. Bumrah was averaging 145 on this wicket,
And
so
Josh
this
Little
is
is
a
not that
very
quick
very
as well,
deadly.
right? Josh Little is
Not that quick.
not
I
very
think he's
quick.
around
Yeah.
that 135. Yeah,
135.
135 range. And he
Maybe he
was
can touch 140, but Andrik Nokia and
yeah,
Jasprit Bumrah can consistently bowl above 145. They they
yeah.
they touch 150 as well,
And
especially Nokia.
when Bumrah, you combine his natural intellect, his bowling intellect, and his ability to know which ball to ball on a wicket like that. He's bowling straight, getting wickets. He balls that bouncer, he gets a wicket. He knows what he's doing, and you mix that with his action and his angle, and you see like that wicket where he absolutely uh like absolutely bamboozled. Who was it? It was Josh Little, I think. Yeah. He bamboozled him with
The
that
Yorker,
Yorker,
right?
and
Yeah,
yeah, it was a mix of his angle, seam movement, swing. There was everything there, the pitch and as well as
and his
Bumrah's natural
wrists
ability and
right?
his
So
wrist. Yes.
I don't know what's the exact word. You call it something like a hyper extension, which is something unique to Jasprit Bumrah and some of the bowlers. So he has this ability to, like, give the ball a bit more like that
Hmm.
swing, which makes his balls more lethal. Like it comes at a pace, and even after hitting the wicket, it tends to
I think
do a bit more.
his arm is also almost that I think it's like that sling action where his entire arm acts as an elastic. It's very
Correct.
intriguing. It's not just his wrist, it's his arm, and
Arm
and
as
that's
well.
because of his action and his natural ability. I'm very fortunate to actually be training underneath his first coach, Jasprit Bumrah's first
Wow,
coach. So
that's
he
great.
definitely helped. He has a lot to say about his action as well, and I think that it's one of the most
That's
unique things
unique.
in
That's
international
very
cricket.
unique. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone can imitate that, like slinger action. Where, I mean, now we see a lot of slingers, Maybe not as great,
Yeah,
still great as Lasith Malinga, but still they come close. But Jasprit Bumrah, I highly doubt if we'll see another bowler like Jasprit Bumrah or someone who can even come close like what Matisha Patirana is doing with Lasith Malinga.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think that sums up the game well. It was mostly a bowler's paradise, and India took advantage of that wicket more than Ireland did. Really expected more from Josh Little, but he gave into that temptation of bowling short and trying to get a catch at square leg, deep square leg, and cow corner, but it didn't work because obviously Rohit Sharma was batting. And just a bad game plan, bad strategy by Ireland to go out there striking like Sri Lanka did in the first half of the innings, and then it's interesting as a batsman, to be honest, because the one of the commentators, I think it was Harbhajan Singh, said something very interesting. It's a lot of the batsmen are probably thinking going out there that we're probably not going to survive for a long time, so might as well try to hit a couple boundaries before we get out, because I think that approach is somewhat true, because at one point you are going to face that ridiculously low ball or that unbelievable swing, and maybe lose your wicket. But at the same time, I think it's important to know which ball to go for and which ball to not.
Yeah,
And Rohit Sharma did that brilliantly. Yeah.
I think it's not a very wise way to look at it. Yes, it's T20 cricket. So we are not talking about scoring 150 or at least 160, right? We're not talking about these big numbers. We're just
Hmm.
talking about 120, 130. Had Ireland got to 120 or yes, at least 120, there'll be some pressure on India for sure because they know this wicket is not easy to chase down. Hi Hari. We have Hari as well.
Hey, hey, Adil, hey, Viren.
Hey Hari, just in time before we start discussing the man of the match, 2 for 6 if I'm not wrong, Jasprit Bumrah, and we were just discussing his action. We were talking about unbelievable support that he got from this wicket. What did you think about Jasprit Bumrah's spell, Hari?
I mean, when you look at Jasprit Bumrah, he's a world class bowler. There's no point saying in the current form that he's been from the IPL until now. I think he's been really proving why he deserves that title of arguably the best bowler in world cricket going around. Um, honestly wouldn't use this innings and this performance as a metric for his ability, because it's a very bowler friendly pitch to say the least, and the bare minimum gets the job done here. But still, it's good to see him in good stead. He's bowling as quick as ever, bowling as accurate as ever, and that's a good thing for India going forward. I think it would just been something of a sort of just oil in the machine kind of a performance for him. But nonetheless, the numbers speak for themselves. But I had a real thought on that man of the match awarding. I honestly, as much as I'm a bowler biased cricket lover. I really felt, it could have gone to either Rohit Sharma or Rishabh Pant, just given the fact that, the conditions were so much in favor of the bowlers, and if a batsman is able to perform the way those two guys were able to, I think one of them deserved. But, it's good to see Bumrah performing well. But I think the only gripe I would have had is the way that, he was used more in the middle overs than up top, which is where I would like to see him. I think when you have someone as good as him, I get that he is able to perform in the middle overs as well, but I think him in those kind of conditions up front would be tremendous. I think he would have sealed the deal way earlier for India than it already did.
I 100% agree with you there, Hari. I think Jasprit Bumrah should at least get 2 overs up front, and it's one. I'm just gonna throw out a controversial opinion, because we started off discussing how Kuldeep Yadav is not a part of this playing 11, and is likely not to be a part of Sunday's playing 11 as well against Pakistan. If they're going to back Akshar Patel and Jadeja in this game, I don't think they're likely to change and bring in Kuldeep, but that's a shame, because Kuldeep is that wrist spinner who's really going to be unpredictable for Pakistan, in my opinion. But I think at the same time, as I said, this pitch, you need depth of batting. So, in my opinion, for Sunday's game, I'd keep Jadeja and Akshar. And I think I'd drop Arshdeep and bring in Kuldeep. I'll drop a fast bowler. And I can already see Adil shaking his head.
No,
But I
no.
believe I'll just give you my reasons for that. And
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
believe just because, first of all, Pakistan has never done well against Kuldeep. that wrist spinner is going to be very, very valuable in that game on Sunday, and we need to fit him in. At the same time, I don't want to compromise the depth of batting. I think Shivam Dube didn't get an over in this match, and Shivam Dube is someone that can work on this pitch. I think he's doable as that fourth fast bowling option. So if we have five fast bowling options that are all capable of bowling in this pitch, might as well drop one of them and bring in someone like a Kuldeep Yadav whilst keeping that batting depth. What do you think, Adil?
uh, I understand like the point that you're trying to make, bringing in the wrist spinner, but to be honest, I don't see the value of like bringing in a spinner into this conditions. But if you really want to fit in Kuldeep Yadav, I would rather bring him in instead replacing Mohammad Siraj, because I wouldn't drop someone like Arshdeep Singh, the only left-arm fast bowler in the Indian lineup. Uh, he brings some variety. He is a great bowler with the new ball. Can bowl in the death as well. Siraj is not the greatest death bowler. I don't think there will be any relevance of death bowling in this wicket. But if it goes that far, India will need Arshdeep more than Mohammad Siraj. And you have the right arm fast bowling option already. You have Jasprit Bumrah, you have Hardik Pandya, and if you're saying that you're going to use Shivam Dube more, if you really want to bring in Kuldeep Yadav, I would bring him instead of Mohammad Siraj. But for me, I think India should stick to this 11, because I don't see the necessity for them to do much changes to this 11, given the fact that, it's not the fact that they are playing Pakistan or anyone, it's the fact that the conditions, because I think this particular encounter, India Pakistan, we've seen some interesting or dramatic India Pakistan games over the years, but I think this is the only India Pakistan encounter which is going to be overshadowed by the playing conditions. Yes, you have all this off the field drama and everything going on, India Pakistan politics, everything, but this game is going to be remembered for how good the wicket is going to play. And if it continues to be the same, I can say shit show, because it's not a great wicket at all. The discussions about the conditions are going to take more center stage than the actual rivalry, or the players themselves. So India, if I'm in the Indian management, I wouldn't change with my combination. It's a good combination. They batted well. Yes, Surya Kumar and Virat Kohli got out cheaply, but I would back them any day to score on this wicket, because as I said in the beginning, you need strong wrists. You need players who can pull and who can play, use your wrists well on this wicket if you want to score, given the slowness of the outfield. So I would back those two, and they're playing all the fast bowlers in their squad, and they have Akshar Patel, who is a tall wrist spinner. Even though you disagreed, Junior, I would still back a tall wrist spinner on this wicket. So I would stick to this 11, and if you really want Kuldeep Yadav, bring him instead of Mohammad Siraj, and do not touch Arshdeep Singh.
No, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Akshar Patel has a lot of appeal on this pitch.
Yeah.
Hari, what do you think? Kuldeep for Siraj?
I think I'd have to echo Adil here. It may be again a bit of a bias being a left-arm fast bowler back in school, but it's always good to have that option. I think when you have as many
Yeah.
bowlers, and when you remove Arshdeep, it's all right armers. I think you're missing a bit of variety and variation you can play with in the 11 when you lose that left arm. And I think Rohit Sharma is one who likes to experiment every now and then, so it's good to have him that option of a left arm first. If there's anyone to go out, I think Siraj. But I don't see India going for that change. I think regardless of whether we think we need or either, I don't think this Indian setup is one that's very gun ho about making a lot of changes, especially after a decent enough performance. And as you said, even though Virat Kohli did not have the best starts to the World Cup, he's someone who's known to pull up towards these World Cup games, the high big games, and
Hmm.
he has the technical ability to perform. I think it's just every now and then you do have that odd bad performance, but I think I feel like the lineup is settled for India, and I think having that depth of batters with Akshar and Jadeja down the order is going to prove very vital. I think when we've seen in the past that every now and then India is susceptible to that collapse in the high pressure game. So it's good to have those options up front. And you have a potential anchor in this form of a Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they have the confidence that they can take it a bit slow because there are these hard hitting options, players down the line who can pick up the run rate at the very last moment.
Definitely,
Yeah, it's very
definitely. I think
unfortunate for Kuldeep Yadav. I mean, just
Honestly, yeah.
on
Even me
just
myself, I'm a huge
yeah,
fan of the way
yeah,
he goes about his business. I think many times people have described him of being a spinner with a fast bowling attitude, and I think
yeah.
that really applies to him. He's someone who really gets going and he brings that intensity that you normally see with a fast bowler. But yeah,
I think that's
unfortunate.
just that's a part and parcel of being an Indian cricketer, right? See, Yashasvi Jaiswal, after scoring all these runs, he has to sit out. Rinku Singh is out of the squad, so same story goes to Kuldeep Yadav as well. So I think it's, at the end of the day, it's team comes first, right? So if the team is settled, why would you change it just to bring in someone else? Although he
yeah,
deserves all the rights to play in that level.
I think if
yeah.
any
As I
game, it
said,
would have been this game that he should have played because of all the right hand dominance you saw in Ireland. But I don't think that's going to apply for Pakistan as
Pakistan.
much.
interesting. I think we need that wrist spinner. Pakistan, we have been successful against Pakistan with a wrist spin in the past. I'm more nervous about that pace bowling attack, Hari, that Pakistan has with Naseem Shah, Shaheen Shah, Afridi. I want to see how Rohit Sharma and the lot handle that. But Adil mentioned before, the way Rohit Sharma was able to, decide when and where he wanted to hit each and every ball in this match was truly commendable. Virat Kohli himself said that he believes Rohit Sharma is one of the best timers of the ball of all time, and I definitely agree with that. He can hit the ball wherever he wants, and he can time the ball every time he plays any shot. So
I
that's
think
going to be a very interesting matchup, right?
I think
Shaheen
about
Shah
Rohit
Afridi
Sharma.
versus
Yeah.
Rohit.
I think about Rohit, one interesting thing is he is someone who reads the length of the ball very early. And you can
Hmm.
see the way he sets himself up in his slight trigger that he has at forward press. He sets it up differently to every length of the ball, and he gives himself a lot of time to play his shots, get into positions that look so elegant, and he's able to play the ball really well. I think that serves him really well. Compared to Virat Kohli's and all, amazing players. But he reads the ball just a little bit early, which allows him to do the things he can do, which is just one thing about Rohit Sharma. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just like to also direct this question to you, Hari. We talked about this a bit in the beginning, but what did you think about Hardik Pandya's spell there? 3 wickets, 3 big wickets, and do you think we have Hardik Pandya back? Obviously, as a CSK fan, you would remember that horrible spell that he bowled with Dhoni hitting him for 3 consecutive 6s in that last over. Hardik Pandya didn't have the best of IPLs with the ball. So, what do you think about that spell? Was it the pitch helping him? Was it his skill? What did you see?
See, I think Hardik as a bowler is very interesting to me because it's a very contrast to the kind of batter he is. As a batter, he's I think very much more in the naturally gifted kind of lane of batters you see, where people who naturally have that ability to time the ball, swing the ball, and get it over the fence. But I think as a bowler, he's much more of someone who does the hard yards, does what's needed, does the basics really well, and that gives him, the results he does. I think if you look at him, he doesn't have anything extraordinary as a bowler, but he does exactly what's needed of him, and that's what we saw in this last Ireland game. He did the basics, and in these conditions, that was more than enough. I think a lot of times you see bowlers who tend to, when they have conditions so greatly favoring them, they kind of waver, try this and that, and that eventually leads them to kind of slipping up. And we saw a little bit of that in this game as well. I think I don't think Ireland should have gotten as much of a run total if India were really strict on it. But he's someone who has that hard working ability, and every now and then, I think when we look at the IPL, he was in a very as much as he would try to hide it, he was in a very bad mental state, and that does do a number on a player like when you're bombarded as much as you are. But I think now he's kind of separated from that situation. People aren't out for him as much as previously. So I think he's in a much better space mentally. He doesn't have, I think, with the IPL, he had one the external pressures and the pressures of captaining a franchisee again. All that would have been weighing on him, but now he's in a much better space, I feel. So, he will give a decent enough performance, and he has performed against Pakistan in the past. Again, it's just a matter of him doing those basics. He does really well. When you're around bowlers like a Bumrah, like a Siraj, who do extraordinary piece of work. You don't have to do much. Just need to keep sure that you hold your end pretty well.
Yeah, I think what he needs to focus on, my opinion, is just conceding those, making sure he doesn't concede that many runs. He's done so in the IPL. He did so in this game too. Much higher economy than the other bowlers. I think 26 runs in the first 4 overs that he was given in a match that had 93 as its finest final total. So I think that'd be something you need to adjust. In my opinion, Hari, would you agree when I say that he has a natural length that's quite shorter than most bowlers. Even when he used to play Test cricket, they used to bring him in to ball those short balls. So he's known for his short balls, but this pitch, I don't think short is the right length. I think you need to go for that length ball, that good length ball, and ball wicket to wicket. So maybe we won't see Hardik Pandya bowling all 4 overs. Definitely not against Pakistan, in my opinion. I don't think he should be that death bowling option as well. I think they have much better options to go for. I think save 2 overs for Bumrah at the end, and also Arshdeep, because he's shown some potential in the past. So yeah, I would go for Kuldeep over Siraj. Actually, I misspoke by saying Arshdeep. I'm a big Arshdeep fan, but Kuldeep over Siraj for Pakistan, because I can't see Kuldeep out of this squad. I want to see him really trouble the Pakistani batsmen like they're going to be troubling us with their fast bowlers. So
But I
it's going to
highly
be an
doubt if
interesting match on Sunday.
if the conditions will support Kuldeep in doing so. I mean,
I think we'll see.
I might be wrong. Let's wait and see. Yeah,
Yeah, Vanindu did
because
receive a lot of help,
yeah.
but Kuldeep is a very special bowler, so I
Did
don't know
we
what to expect.
see? Did we see any other wrist spinner bowling on this figure? Not yet, right? It was just Vanidu. Yeah, South Africa didn't
Yeah, and
play Kamsi. Ireland had Ben White, but he's not. He's just more of this killy leg spinner, right? Ben White, he's a leg
yeah,
spinner. Yeah,
you can't
the
really
power
compare
ball.
him with the likes of
Hundred
Kuldeep
percent,
Yadav, in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
Agreed, agreed. Kuldeep
But
is on his own.
Sunday's yeah, Sunday's game is going to be very interesting. When it comes to Virat Kohli, just one last remark. I definitely think it was the wrong choice for him not to play the warm-up games. In a pitch like that, you want to get accustomed to the pitch as much as possible before that World Cup starts, and
But he
I
had
don't
no
think it was
choice,
the right
right?
decision.
He had no choice,
Uh,
right? He just landed on the previous day, so he would have had jet lag and everything. So I think he didn't have a
yeah, but
choice.
he could have always come early. I think he would have
Okay,
preferred
yeah,
not to
fair
play
enough.
the warm-up games here.
Fair enough.
You have Rohit
I think
Sharma, you have the top
I
cricketers
think
playing,
I
so why
think
not Virat
it's
Kohli?
it's easy to say in hindsight, that he should have played, but I think
Yeah.
your best. I think he may have wanted a little bit of extra rest time, which fair enough. I think when you look at most of the squad, not a lot of them were deep into the IPL playoffs as he was.
Yeah.
So I think that does do a number on, and a player as intense as Virat Kohli, as he ages, you do need that rest time. I think it's easy for us to say in hindsight that he should have played. But I think again, it's way. I think one bad game, I don't think should define um,
Definitely,
his
yeah.
state of form in terms of a player. And I think I think that we'll see a much better Virat Kohli come the India Pakistan game. I think he brings it all, and
Oh,
I think in my mind, right, if I was the Indian think tank, I would consider this also a warm up game because of how it went. And I think
yeah.
Yeah.
the fact that you had Rohit Sharma retiring hurt and giving other batsmen a shot at the crease, and it speaks volumes of the kind of intent they had at that point of the game.
Not too sure what he was doing there, like towards the end, retiring hurt, but definitely. Virat Kohli, just one last thing. I think he is going to be really, really a game changer in this game against Pakistan. He comes in high pressure situations, as Hari said. But again, why I said that he should have played the warm up games, because I didn't see that level of comfort, the same level that Rohit Sharma had after a couple balls, because he played that warm up game. I think Kohli thought that he could, come out with that premeditated step out shot and maybe get a boundary to start him off, but he definitely like underestimated that pitch, and the uneven bounce got the better of him. So I think Kohli has to be more careful, stick to his normal game plan of adapting to the pitch for the first couple balls, taking those singles. I know he wants to take advantage of that power play, but he needs to make sure that he gets set in first, like Kohli does normally, because it's a big game and there are going to be some really fiery Pakistani bowlers going up in the power play. Very interesting matchups. Naseem
But
Shah versus Virat Kohli.
I'm
Are
I'm
there?
just
Yeah,
getting this. Yeah, I'm just getting just a strange feeling. So we know Virat Kohli always steps up when the opposition is Pakistan, and this wicket he has not done well on this wicket yet. He didn't face even five. He just faced five deliveries, right? So he has not faced enough deliveries to get a proper feeling of this wicket, and he'll be facing Shaheen Shah and potentially Shaheen Shah and Mohammad Amir. Like I just can't imagine how good they'll be on this wicket with so much favor for fast bowlers. And Rohit Sharma historically has a weakness against left-arm fast bowlers, be it Shaheen Shafridi or be it Dilshan Madhushankar. So I think this will be like a great opportunity for Pakistan. They'll definitely back themselves against Rohit Sharma, and given the fact that Virat Kohli is still new to this wicket, they'll back themselves against Virat Kohli as well. So that's since that I just get a strange feeling that they might opt to kind of shield Virat Kohli and maybe open with Rishabh Pant
Jaiswal.
since he. I don't think they'll change the 11. I don't think they'll change the 11. I mean, if you bring in Jaiswal, who would you drop? I don't
Uh,
see anyone getting dropped for
I think also you have
Jaiswal
the
at the
issue of
moment.
getting a keeper in as well if you're dropping
Keeper in
Rishabh
as
Pant.
well. So I
yeah.
mean, I don't
No.
think they'll change the 11, but maybe swap Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant in terms of the in the batting order. Probably open with Rishabh Pant because Pakistan are very most likely to open with Shaheen and Mohammad Amir or maybe even Naseem Shah. And Rishabh Pant has been, for me, Rishabh Pant's batting style is the template to bat on this wicket. Be risky, use your wrists, try to play the ball over the outfield. I mean, don't keep it always on the air. Try to keep it on the air, making sure you don't pick fielders. Place the ball, be innovative, and be Rishabh Pant.
Absolutely. I think Sky will also maybe face some success because he has a similar batting style. But
100%.
that's going to be a
100%.
very interesting game on Sunday. We'll see who performs and who doesn't. We'll see who wins the
Yeah.
battles uh, against the probably the best pace attack in this World Cup, in my opinion,
Easily. Easily.
versus one of the best batting lineups in this World Cup on a pitch like that. So they might fly in a new pitch. They might do some work before Sunday. They might play on the Yankee Stadium. God knows what they're gonna do. Jay Shah is, but I believe if they win the toss, that's half the game that they've won.
Yeah.
So win the toss, ball
Ball
first,
first.
and they whoever does that has the advantage. So I guess we'll see on Sunday. Looking forward to reviewing more games with you guys, and that's all from Ion Cricket. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned.
Thanks for having me.